No, it's not important. Hello, I am going to talk about the new baby of Harry and Meghan. Meghan, I suppose that's her name. But I want to say that I actually started making the video and I was just gabbling on, and suddenly a biblical reference occurred to me. And it just shows you how the Bible actually has this tremendous handle on human nature. And I started thinking while I was talking, and you'll see in a minute why, of Jacob and Esau, who were the sons of Isaac, and they were twins. And what happened was that Jacob was a bit of a stinker, and he went to his father to get a blessing. But I think Esau was the first. And so Jacob disguised himself as Esau. His father was blind, so it was apparently quite easy to do, and pretended to be Esau. And he got the blessing from his father that should have gone to Esau. And when Esau turned up and Isaac realized the mistake, Esau said something like, Isaac said, well, I'm sorry, I've already given the blessing, which is sort of an odd idea, isn't it? Like pieces, blessings, sort of like pieces of cake that once given and eaten can't be replaced with anything else. But anyway, Esau said something like, "But isn't there anything left for me, Dad?" It's rather a sad story in a way. Okay, so I just thought of that when I started talking about Harry and Meghan. First of all, I've got to say, a healthy child born is always something good. But those guys, I don't have much respect for them. So the little prince and his lady, Meghan, Queen of the Universe, have produced a healthy child, and as I say, that's good. She's 8th in line to the throne, and they've decided to call her Lilibet Diana. Now, let's look at this. William, that is Harry's older brother, William has a daughter as well. She's called Princess Charlotte of Cambridge, and her full name is Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, which means that the names of Her Majesty the Queen, who is the great-grandmother, and the name of the late Princess Diana, who is the grandmother, have already been taken by William. Harry might feel aggrieved at that. He might be saying to the heavens, "But are there no names left for me?" But they aren't. They've already been taken. Now, there are plenty of other names he could have chosen, but he didn't. He wanted those names. It's at this point that I take issue with him. Yeah, as if I didn't have enough to take issue with him. Anyway, he didn't want to be outdone. He wanted those names. And so he gave those names to his daughter as well, turning her into a sort of bargain basement member of the royal family, which is more or less what Harry has become as well. Some of you might be saying that Lilibet isn't Elizabeth, but it is. And it's even worse than just stealing the name Elizabeth. Let's just look at the history. Lilibet is what Her Majesty was called when she was a child, because when she tried to say her own name, Elizabeth, it came out Lilibet, and her parents thought that was so cute that that's what they called her as well. Her beloved father, who died when she was only 25, and her mother, who, so far as I know, was a great friend of hers all her life. They called her Lilibet. It was a sign of affection. I don't know whether Prince Philip called his wife Lilibet, but it wouldn't have surprised me if he had. But it was a symbol of closeness, that name. I mean, you don't get to call the Queen nicknames. Even her children have to call her by royal titles when they're talking about her or even to her in public. And Meghan would never be allowed to call the Queen Lilibet. So calling her daughter that name is sort of like revenge, isn't it? It's sort of, well, here's one I made earlier. I can't call the Queen Lilibet, but, you know, I can call some kid of mine Lilibet instead. And if I ever go to visit them, I'm going to be shouting Lilibet, and the Queen will hear this. And that's really going to show her that I can do what I want. It's no use just blaming the interview queen for this, though. Harry could have put a stop to it. He colluded in this. It's no use saying that Meghan is the witch who is causing all this trouble. I'm quite sure that she is having an influence on it, but Harry is a grown man and he has his own brain, I suppose. And he, mind you, I have to tell you that having had 3 sons and seeing them sort of disappear when they've had girlfriends, I mean disappear mentally, I just got this feeling sometimes that, well, this was my theory, that when a man gets involved with a woman he's crazy over, his brain melts and it trickles down his spine into his nether regions and it never comes out. Anyway, that's the theory I have. I'm sorry, you chaps. I'm sure I'm being really nasty to you now. Anyway, Prince Harry has condemned his daughter in her names to be just a bad copy of her cousin Charlotte, and that is just a dire thing to do. So, as well as insulting his family and capitalising on his position in order to earn money, he is now capitalising on his daughter as well. And he's turned her into, as I said, a bad copy of a member of the royal family, and that's what he's become too. He is really very disappointing. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share, share, share.